Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jugs, and this is more Gears of War 3 beta footage, and this was during the closed beta. The betas have opened up now to people who bought Bulletstorm Epic Edition, so you might be able to play it now if you bought that game. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure though they opened it at 2 a.m. last night, or this morning rather. But you know, you guys gave me a super awesome positive response on the last Gears of War video, so I figured I'd do another one just because I'm fucking stoked to be making videos on this. And I love this game, guys. I'm having so much fun playing Gears of War 3. It's just you know, coming from games like Call of Duty, like first person shooter games, just all together, there is so much less bullshit in Gears of War 1 or Gears of War altogether. I'm not sure about Gears of War 2, Gears of War 1 and Gears of War 3 than there is in any other game that I'm playing, any other online game that I'm playing. And it is such a relief. You know, it's just one of the reasons why. Oh, before I talk about this, I'm playing on trenches. I go 13 and 5. I get a killing spree. I'm playing as Anya, using the Nasher, and I believe I'm using the Retro Lancer. Which let me tell you guys, to you guys that have access to the beta, or to you guys that are gonna buy Gears, if they don't nerf the Retro Lancer, definitely fucking use that thing. There's like hammer burst range, which is a very long range. There is regular Lancer range, which is just short of hammer burst range, and there is shotgun range, which is pretty damn close. And then between the shotgun range and the Lancer range, there's a Retro Lancer range. So the Retro Lancer will work just outside of shotgun range, just outside of maybe a 2-hit shotgun range kill, and it drops people so quick. I love this thing. This thing makes me look like I know what I'm doing in this game when I really don't. I'll go up against 3v1. I might add that clip at the end, even though I don't clutch it. Or it's not 3v1. It's like they had like 5, or I don't remember. They had respawn still, and they were all going against me. I was the last man out, and I took down a few of them before I died. And I'm a scrub at this game, but the Retro Lancer, like I said, just makes me look like a boss. And I didn't clutch it, but I'll add it at the end of this gameplay for you guys to watch. But fucking use that thing. You can also charge at people, and it's like a Lancer charge, and you can just stab the shit out of them. Just bayonet, yeah, it's a bayonet charge. Sorry, I'm stumbling on my words, but it's a bayonet charge, and you can just bayonet the shit out of people. And one of the other things that I liked about Gears of War 3 is all the various executions. There are so many executions. There's a shotgun execution, where if you get them down, all these executions take place when you get them down, and they're like crawling around and shit. You get them down, and then you hold Y, and you'll begin an execution, and it'll vary depending on whatever weapon you're holding. And the shotgun execution is you kind of like golf their head off. Like you'll smack them. I think you smack them once with the shotgun, and then you take the barrel end of the shotgun in your hands, and you just golf the fuck out of his face, and it blows up, and that's awesome. The Lancer, the Retro Lancer, you stab him in the side of the ribs, just under their arm, and then I think it's supposed to look like you behead him, but the head doesn't really come off. You kind of just slice his throat with the bayonet, and that's fucking badass. The regular Lancer, I'm pretty sure you just chainsaw him on the ground. And the one that I enjoy the most, I'm sure there are other executions that I haven't mentioned, but the one that I enjoy the most is switching to your pistol, holding Y, and then tapping Y, and it'll vary depending on what side you're playing. If you're playing Locust, or if you're playing people, or Gears rather, I should say. Sorry to offend my Gears fans out there for my lack of knowledge, but it's if you're playing as the Gears, you'll do this animation where you get on top of them, you get up on their upper body, and you just start beating the shit out of them with 2 hands. You just start punching them in the face, left, right, left, right, left, right, and then you punch them, you give them a hard right at the end, and their head blows up. And you can you tap Y to control how long you want this to go on, and you'll get +9 points for every swing. And it's awesome. Like if somebody's being a fucking douche, you can just go up to him, outplay him, get him down, and then you can switch to your pistol and just rub it in his fucking face. And I do that all the time to the people who use the sawed off like it's their job. I hate that thing. One of the other gripes that I have, the only gripe, this is the only problem that I had with Gears of War 3. I initially stated before that I have a problem with the Digger Launcher. The Digger Launcher is fine. There is nothing wrong with it. They only have 3 3 rounds in the gun, so there's no issues with the Digger launcher. But I have a problem with the sawed-off shotgun. And if you guys are any fans of the Gears series, you'll know that the Gears series, at least Gears of War 1 and Gears of War 3, I can't speak about Gears of War 2 because I haven't played it, but in my experience, I've found it to be the case where there's a large skill gap. It's when you're 1v1ing against somebody that's much better than you, you will hardly ever beat them. And I love that. I love that because it's when there's a large skill gap and there's minimal randomness, and there is minimal randomness in Gears 3 as well as Gears 1 when you compare it to things like Call of Duty or Battlefield or even Halo. I don't know, like any first-person shooter altogether. There's so much more randomness in that than the Gears series, and I love that about Gears. It's like to me, it's like playing PC gaming, like PC Pro Mod, although it's probably not to that extent. I'm sure my PC fans out there will just, fucking roar the shit out of me right now, but it just reminds me of that, in that you'll go up against somebody, and despite the fact that he's much better than you, he'll take you out. Yeah, he will, but you can always learn from that because it's not all randomness. There's things that he's doing, there's patterns that he's taking, there's ways that he's playing where you can adapt it to it. You can add that to your own play style. You can learn, and you can become a better player yourself, and then maybe one day when you've actually gotten better at the game, it'll show in your gameplay, it'll show in your gaming style, and you'll actually be able to take that guy out. Whereas opposed to, you can play Call of Duty for 5+ years, you can play it for 7+ years, however long the fuck it's been out, and you can always die to somebody that just picked up the game yesterday. And you can reduce the amount of deaths you get, but there's just so much randomness. It's so easy to kill people that it'll happen regardless of what you try to do, it'll happen regardless. So that's one of the things I really love about the Gears series, and that is the one problem that I have with Gears of War 3 is that it kind of shits on that in the implementation of one weapon in particular, and that weapon is the sawed-off shotgun. And I don't use it in this gameplay, so you won't be able to see it. I might use it in the future just to show you guys what it's like, but if you guys are if you guys are familiar at all with the Gears series, there's a shotgun, the traditional shotgun. They call it a Nasher. It's like a pump action shotgun. It has, I don't know how many rounds it has, but it has like 7+ rounds or something like that. And its reticle is just, it's a decent sized reticle. It'll take skill to take somebody down, especially when somebody's wall bouncing and shit like that. The range isn't insane. You have to be up close. You have to know what you're doing. You have to hit. You have to be accurate. But the sawed-off, in comparison to the Nasher, has this long rectangle of a reticle that takes almost, I'd say, 75 to 80% of your screen in terms of the length. And so what that means is that nobody really has to aim when using the sawed-off. You do get one bullet or one round in the chamber, but that's all you need. That's all you need, because usually when you're using the shotgun, you're not taking on multiple people. You just kind of want that 1v1. But even still, the reload time, a lot of people say that it's bad, that it's super bad. If you know how to maneuver, if you can roll away and run away and shit, like if you know how to play, you can definitely work with that reload time and get that active reload and just own the shit out of everybody. And don't get me wrong, it's not overpowered in the slightest. The Nasher in the right hands will definitely beat the shit out of a sawed-off player if that Nasher player knows how to use the shotgun, like I said. But the problem comes in when you're new to the series and you're trying to learn how to play. You're trying to learn how to play the Nasher, and you're going up against somebody that doesn't care to learn how to play the game the right way. And that reticle is so huge that all he has to do is just pop out of cover for a second. Doesn't even have to aim or anything. Just pull the trigger and you'll blow up. And that sucks, in my opinion. But I guess it won't be an issue once I learn how to play the game a little bit better, once I get used to aiming and stuff. But I seriously, if you rely on the sawed-off, I want you to just die, okay? I want to shove my fist so far up your ass that I can grab your tongue and pull it out the other end and just make you lick your own asshole. That's what I want to do to you. But anyways, that's the only issue that I have with Gears of War 3. So with that being said, the maps, I fucking love every single one of the maps. There's not a single map that I get, so far anyways in the beta, out of all the 4 maps that I mentioned, there's not a single map that gets chosen that I go, fuck, not this map. Like I'm excited to play every single map, to learn the weapon spawns on every single map, to play every single map, and that is a great feeling, because everything about the maps are fair. There's no you know, advantage to spawning on one side or the other. You know, there's always going to be an advantage. Maybe like on Old Town you could argue that spawning at the top is better than spawning at the beach just because you're looking down or some shit, but it's nowhere near anything like Halo where you spawn closer to the fucking rockets and reach, or you spawn closer to the shotguns or whatever, you spawn with the tower. It's nothing like that. It's very equal, it's very fair, and that's another thing I love about this game. So yeah, definitely look forward to the maps that are going to be released. I'm looking forward extremely to the maps that they haven't released yet, because I want to see if they're good, if they're just as good or not as the ones they've put out in the beta, because man, the beta maps are fucking awesome. Lastly, the only thing left that I have to really talk about or to really complain about in Gears 3, and the fact that this is, you know, there's only two things that I really can complain about in Gears 3 is a very good thing. Let me say that now. Don't think that just because I'm complaining right now that the game is bad. The game is amazing. Don't even think for a second. But one thing that I wanted to address was the implementation of bots in multiplayer, and I don't really know how to feel about that, because in game types like King of the Hill and Capture the Leader, because if you guys didn't know, there's 3 playlists in Gears 3. There's TDM, Capture the Leader, and King of the Hill. And in King of the Hill and Capture the Leader, as long as the bot doesn't spawn as the leader, that is a good thing. That is a good thing to have. You want more bodies on the field. You want somebody to take up bullets for you, just because you don't want to be 2 against 5. It's just good all around. Especially it makes matchmaking a lot faster too, especially right now, because there's only like 1,000 people playing, or at least there was only 1,000 people playing the closed beta. That it makes everything faster. But in TDM, how it works is both teams have 15 respawns individually, and once those respawns are up, everybody's down to their last lives, and then you got to take them out and the game's over. And the problem with having bots, and just they burn tickets. They're not always good. Sometimes they can be really good, sometimes they can be really bad. I've seen bots just go to work on some of the best players in Gears. I've seen a bot when Trump was live streaming. He live streamed Gears once, and I saw a bot just get a double kill on IC0 Umbat I and Gold Glove, and that was fucking beastly. It was with a shotty too, so that was fucking beastly. But most of the time they won't be good, and they burn tickets. So in TDM, that's not really a great idea. But one thing though, I wish they would do for TDM, if you guys have any access to the beta forums, if you got your beta code legitimately, you should have access to the beta forums. But one thing I wish they would implement, and I hope you vocalize this to the beta forums, so that maybe they can take this into account. I wish they would give players, each individual player in TDM, a set amount of respawns, so that everybody has a fair amount of sway towards the game's conclusion. And with that being said, better players can do more with the lives that they have and don't have to worry about how many tickets they have left. Because even if a good player just dies like once throughout the whole game, if he stays alive throughout the whole game until the end and dies once, and there are no more respawns left because the entire team is just burning him, then he can't respawn anymore and he can't do any more work. So if they implemented this idea, everybody would have a fair control over the outcome. Worse players won't be able to do as much damage to the team, and better players can do a lot more with the lives they're given, and that would make my fucking day. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. I'm not sure how much time is left. I'm sure I'll just implement I'll put in the last, you're probably watching the extra clip that I talked about earlier. So I hope you guys enjoy this commentary, guys. Peace out. This has been Jugs.
much better. You want to survive? Then we have to.